Okay, so test riding the Himalayan today. Basically, test ride the mechanical aspects of that front end that I built, and the Harley Davidson 750 street caliper I put on the front, which has a lot more biting capability, it seems like. Anyway, I've got to go 60 miles that way over those mountains. So let's go. Brisk morning. It's probably I don't know, 45 down here. Yesterday it was warmer up top on the mountain, so we'll see what happens. Of course, you know, Royal Enfield says it's 59, but I think that thermometer's on crack. Yeah, it's on crack, because I can't think of any other drug. Hopefully this Purple Panda microphone is doing its job with all this wind noise, because there's a lot more wind noise with without a lip on this windshield. Oh yeah, I took the baffle out of this Delcovic. A little popping here and there. Also mounted the cylinder head temperature back here. I don't know if I'm going to keep it there. Wanted to put it somewhere for now, till I can think of a better place. Oh, that's a beat up Porsche. What happened to your Porsche, dude? So last time I rode the Himalayan over the mountain, my Midas Dakar front tire felt like it was sliding a little in the corners, and we looked at that tread design, and there is a section, once you're over a certain far in regards to lean angle, you're actually not riding on any tread, you're riding on a rain groove, which they for some reason almost lined the rain grooves up, so there's I don't know, half-inch gap of no tread. So you go from decent tread to no tread back to some tread, and I think I just happened to hit the sweet spot with no tread, and it was cold and it was wet, and the front end slid out a little bit. It did it twice, because I thought, first time had to be an anomaly, right? I hit some gravel or something, but no, it did it again. So I chilled, slowed down a little bit. Today I dropped the air pressure to 28, maybe give me a little bit better footprint on the ground. It was 31. So we'll, I'm not going to be aggressive, but we'll see how it feels. Pop, pop. And she's jetted for summertime, and it's funny, this air that's slightly cooler leans her out just enough to pop. But it feels good. Spark plug looks good. I'm gonna leave it. Before you know it, it'll be 90 degrees again, and it'll be jetted just fine. Those of you saying, what's he talking about, jets? Himalayans are fuel injected. Yes, they are, you're right. Not this one. It has a carburetor on it. It's a constant velocity carburetor from a kit that Hitchcock sells. and I have no regrets. This thing runs amazing, and it just pulls harder everywhere. Jesus, this thing, man, it feels 200 pounds lighter. I freaking love it. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. The ignition switch. Oh yeah, that's the only what I would consider failure point that I might have added that wasn't there before, was using a relay to turn the bike on. But we'll see how it works out. I mean, that's the point of this ride, right? Just make sure it works. I've got my inReach transponder in my tank bag so I can text in the dead zone. There's about 10 miles in the mountains that nothing works. Phones don't work. No phone carrier works. Police radios don't work. Nothing. Even the police, I've chatted with them because I broke down up there, or not broke down, but got a flat tire up there and had to wait for AAA because I didn't have any tools. Besides, it was pitch black dark. I wasn't gonna sit on the side of the busy highway, 2-lane highway in the mountains, try to fix a tire. So while I was waiting for AAA, a cop rolled up and asked if I was okay, and I said, yeah, I'm just waiting for a tow truck. And he decided to stay there with me until the tow truck came. Really cool guy. Orange County Sheriff. We chatted quite a bit. They call that the dead zone, the police do. He also told stories of how in years that the rain is substantial, or the rain quantity is high enough, they'll actually grow some marijuana back along that Ortega road. And he says it's to the point where it's used for trafficking back and forth. I'm like, really? Why don't you just put it in your car and go? But it almost sounded like a story, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I've smelled some stuff growing back there, because that's one of the great things about riding a motorcycle, is all the different smells you get to pick up on. Anyway, yeah, he hung out with me until the tow truck came. We got loaded up, and I was on my way home. Wow, I just can't get over how this thing feels so much lighter. Probably has something to do with how much taller it is too. This bike's 1.5 inches taller than regular Himalayan. If I have another gear, I should use it. Yay! That's another thing, the polarity of this LED bulb. No matter if I have it on high beam or low beam, it illuminates the high beam light. So I want to look into that. See if I can find a regular incandescent bulb to go in that light, just to stay with the whole retro thing. I'm going to get some handlebar heating action going here. There we go. A little chilly. Well, so far exactly what I thought as far as this front end goes. There's a little more wind blast because the windshield's a little bit shorter and closer to you. The stock location of the windshield's probably what, 10 inches or so further forward, which helps to deflect a little more air probably before it hits you. But yeah, that's kind of what I expected. At first, I wasn't even going to put a windshield on. I was just going to run that number plate. And I thought, hey, you know what? This Puig windshield, or Puig, however you want to say it, looks like it might fit this. So I ordered one, and yeah, I was able to make it fit with some 3D custom mounts, 3D printed. I used a filament printer, and I used PET G filament to print everything. I printed this block that goes up to here to mount the instruments to. I printed the ignition switch holder and all the little brackets for the windshield. I run her up to 70, sometimes 75. She does fine. Doesn't have any power at 75 to 80, but well, I doubt we'll still be recording, but I'll show you. Yeah, I wouldn't want to try to pass someone if I'm already going 70 miles an hour, but isn't that I mean, do you really need to pass someone if you're going 70 miles an hour? I don't think so. Not on this bike. Kind of the whole point of this bike is just kick back, ride, enjoy the scenery. And there's just something about riding this Himalayan that's just, man, I don't know. It invokes the whole basic idea of riding on two wheels. It's just fun. You know, I think there's a certain element of motorcyclists. You know, everybody's got a little thrill seeker in them if they're riding a motorcycle. You get to ride it and go, ooh, I survived death. I cheated death once again. And sometimes they'll say a bike that might be less reliable, they state that it has more soul. I mean, okay, what does that mean to some people? The bike has more soul. Does that mean it's a cantankerous thing that might break down, so it kind of adds to the thrill of not only did I cheat death, I cheated fate. My bike didn't break down. You know, I have a relationship with it. I love it. It loves me. Kind of a thing. I don't know. I think there's some mental things going on in there. But whatever it is, that's one of the reasons we ride motorcycles. And this kind of, you know, embodies that, like, takes it to a next level. Man, I ordered some Racetech front springs for these forks. And on these cold mornings with this 15 weight fork oil, I don't know that I need it. She's pretty stiff right now. The little bumps are kind of jarring. In the summer though, the oil's, you know, normal consistency and she's a little smoother. The reason I ordered springs is when I go off-road, it doesn't take much to bottom these forks out. And since I have a Hagen rear shock, which does much better than a stock shock off-road, figured I would complement it with some better springs up front. I'm still working on the upside down fork conversion. It's taking longer than I thought because I'm going to have to, I had to order a bottom triple tree from Royal Enfield, but I think it just came from some shop in India. Because I'm going to grind the weld off the bottom and press the post out and take it to a machine shop and have them make me another one that fits, that I can press into that KLX triple tree that I have. Other than that triple tree being a ½ inch too short, everything was perfect. I mean, I thought when I was putting it together I would get away with, you know, a ½ inch shortness with some adjustment, because there's always some adjustment, right? But no, it just wouldn't have been safe. And that's whenever you're doing modifications, you know, safety should be your number one thing. Don't create more failure points. Wow, this Harley brake is definitely more grabby. I like it. Yeah, so when you're doing modifications, don't create more failure points. Don't make your bike more dangerous. Because, you know, you should put decals on your handguard to say don't die. So that every time you walk up to your bike, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't die. Hopefully the camera's still going and I'm not talking to myself. You know how many times I've come across here commuting to work, enjoying the ride, chit-chatting, get to work, and that camera would never record anything. I mean, I want to get a newer GoPro because they're supposed to be better, but that's a lot of money to tie up into something that works, you know, maybe 70% of the time, and the rest of the time it doesn't work and or corrupts your data, or the battery, it overheats and the battery dies. And I mean, I updated the firmware because there was a firmware called The Fix, and that really did help. I've had a lot less corrupt data and the batteries have lasted a lot longer, but I don't know. I think my son has a GoPro 8, Hero 8. I should borrow that from him to see if I have better luck with it, because I don't think he's using it. I should get about 40 minutes out of this battery, I think, continuous recording here. We'll see. This Carrizo Village, that used to be Hell's Kitchen. That I think that building's cursed. That's been in the hands of about 6 owners since I've been commuting on this road, and it just always fails. The last owner, man, talk about bad timing. They bought that, and not even 3 months later, 6 months later, I don't even think it was 6 months, probably closer to 3 months, COVID started. And you know, at first, everybody remembers COVID. In California, we had, you can't go outside, you can't travel, you can't go hiking, you can't tent camp, you can't do anything, stay home. Of course, I was essential, so I got to commute on this road with no traffic. It was awesome. But so with no traffic, that meant no business for that guy, and he had just spent all the money buying it and fixing it up. It looked really good. And then, you know, COVID starts to taper off, and we're allowed to go out and look at the world again, and they decide to widen this road all the way to Orange County. And I mean, it doesn't, this wall on my right here is brand new. You can see the road is ground up, because eventually they're going to put asphalt on it. All this widening is new here. This road used to barely be as wide as where the white line is there, and then boom, there was a wall. So anyway, yeah, the road's under construction all the way across, and they close it every weekend. That guy's traffic is Orange County motorcycle riders riding over this Ortega highway, and having a hot dog or a burger or steak or breakfast or beer or whatever, what have you. That's his business. That's 90% of his business. And now that's not happening because this road's under construction and closed on the weekends. I don't know that I ever drove by that guy's place and saw more than 2 or 3 bikes there, you know, during COVID up until now. Kind of sad. Pop, pop. A little colder right here. If I had to guess, I would say it's 41, 42 degrees. Because Royal Enfield don't know. Royal Enfield probably thinks it's 60, 65 degrees. It ain't nowhere near 65 degrees. Feel the roll-on power of that 400cc air-cooled motor. Actually, it does have a lot more roll-on power than it used to. She be torquey now. Not as torquey as it could be for 400 cc's, but feels pretty good. I kind of figured this road would be dried up by today, but I don't know if y'all been watching or if you even care, but man, it's been raining and snowing a lot in Southern California. Bizarro. I would say normally it's up into the 80 degrees by now. We haven't seen 80 degrees since before Christmas. And there's a ton of snow on the mountains. There was snow here not too long ago. And I'm only, what, maybe 2,000 feet? Road construction, yay. The shocks are starting to warm up. They're getting a little better. Funny how that cold oil just makes the damping a little stiff. So good news, I got a notification this morning that my white gas tank shipped. So, man, typically things shipping from India get here in 3 days, 3 to 4 days. I don't know how that's possible when I can't get a letter from the next county over in a week. But maybe I'll have a white gas tank to put on this thing by the weekend. I'll put the white fender on the back, and away we go. Assuming it passes this test ride today, but so far things are looking pretty good. Meet us to cars and cold, wet pavement. Meet us to cars and cold, wet pavement. Everybody chant with me. Good thing I'm just puttering. No length, no bank angle, no lean angle, no G-forces on the tread. Just rolling along. I was gonna say fat, dumb, and happy, but the bike's no longer fat. Maybe me, you know. I could afford to lose 10 pounds. Hand grips feel so nice and warm. After I decide I'm happy with this configuration, which I am, I love the instruments right there. It's awesome. I got to put a USB charge point back on here. Might go with a handlebar mounted unit and put it right down here. We'll see. So yeah, weight savings. I removed the rear rack, removed the pannier mounts, removed the front racks, the headlight support, the bracket to hold the front racks to the frame, the headlight, the instrument support. I swapped out the stock exhaust for a DeKelvik full system. The head pipe on the stock exhaust, that's the header, not the muffler, weighed more than the entire DeKelvik system, so that gives you an idea how much weight savings we had there. I want to say it was close to 8 pounds. And then the aluminum tubeless wheels were about half the weight of the steel wheels I took off. And I don't have tubes in the tires anymore. They probably weigh, what, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 ounces. I could weigh one when I get home. And let's see what else. Oh, took off the rear seat. I've got Hitchcock's pan back there where the rear seat normally goes, which I'm going to change that up a little bit because I want to put, I'm either going to get Tusk or Moto bags, frameless bags, because I do want to take this on a BDR. As I was saying earlier, I want to truck this over to somewhere around Needles and get on the California BDR and go north a little bit, hang out, spend the night, turn around, come back, just as a trial run. Try to get my son to go with me on his KTM 500. I think it'll be interesting. So yeah, either some Tusk or Moto bags if I, if I get rich, Moto. If not, we'll go with Tusk. I think they're both pretty decent brands. Giant Loop's a good brand too for, rackless waterproof bags. Those things have really come a long way since I started riding a million years ago. It used to be, if you had cloth bags, you were I don't know, you're a bottom of the barrel, bottom feeder or whatever, you know. It seems that now that those flipping things cost more than hard bags. I run waterproof bags on my Africa Twin, and yes, last year my wife and I rode through a pretty heavy thunderstorm over by the Grand Canyon. There was nowhere to pull off, no shelter, so we pressed on, and lightning was hitting all around, and it was really coming down. I could barely see, but nothing got wet. They work amazingly well. Yeah, you can definitely feel this bike's a little lighter. Probably what a Scram feels like, but I think right now I'm even lighter than a Scram. I'm pretty sure I am. Yeah, it feels good. So the other thing that's amazing of a bike as this is off-road, and those of you who've taken it off-road know what I'm talking about. This thing will just chug anywhere. It never gives up. It is actually a really good handling bike on the street. I mean, the geometry of this bike is just, it's spot on for a bike that you want to do everything with. You know, you want to commute to work, you want to go ride in the dirt, you want to do this, you want to do that. This bike is there and ready to go. They got the rake and trail and tire wheel size geometry and everything is just spot on. It's just so good. And I've owned a lot of motorcycles. This is one of the most neutral feeling bikes I think I've ever had. I don't think anyone could ride this bike and go, that's not cool. Everybody that rides it goes, they just come back with a smile and go, yeah, it's slow, but it's freaking cool. Something about it is just fun. If you're a speed junkie, then maybe not so much fun. So yeah, I think just about everyone that rides this bike comes back with a big old smile on their face. And that, first words out of their mouth, that's cool and that's a lot of fun. I mean, my youngest son, he's kind of a adrenaline junkie, not as much as some people, but you know, he has this E1000, he likes his KTM 500, he likes power, likes acceleration. I do too, but beside that point, this bike doesn't really provide that, but it does everything else so well. I mean, I don't know, everybody talks about how slow it is. It's not slow. Obviously they didn't ride bikes in the 70s. Those were slow bikes, you know, compared to today's bikes. Back then we didn't know they were slow, and we were happy as could be to ride one. And that roll-on power with this car, oh man, gotta love it. Fifth gear roll-on at 40 miles an hour, it's actually pulling. Not pulling my arms out of my sockets, of course, but it is pulling. Hopefully Purple Panda's doing his job and blocking this wind noise. Institute. still recording. I mean, I almost forgot, but it's funny that some people take offense that I changed the bike. Weird. I broke some kind of unwritten law. I guess because I changed it, I'm saying that, you know, their bike is ugly, but that's not at all what I'm implying. I really like the way the Himalayan looks. That's why I bought the thing. But it's also an amazing platform to, I don't know, explore your creativity. I wanted a retro Enduro. In fact, I've been keeping my eye out for an old XL 650. And people just want too much dang money for them. Or DR. So I built my own. Whatever. Doesn't mean I think the Himalayan is ugly. In fact, it's really retro cool looking right off the showroom floor. But you know, I changed the bike to make me happy, which is all that's really important. And right now, I'm pretty happy with this bike. I mean, the suspension upgrades and brake upgrades and all that stuff aside, that obviously made it better in that regard. But aesthetics, you know, that's up to the individual person whether they like something or dislike something. And because you dislike something, you know, do you really turn into the haters? Do you join the hater crew? Oh, that's fucking stupid. What are you doing? Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it sometimes. Okay, through the magic of video, I made it home from work through that traffic. And some, you know, maybe some final thoughts on these modifications, these aesthetic changes to make the Himalayan Enduro, retro Enduro, the HRE. Hey, look, that actually works. Wow. I think someone called it a Himalayan or a Yamaha or something. I don't know. But whatever. It's cute. So yeah, it basically does everything I expected. A little more wind noise, a little more wind blast without a lip on that windshield. I'll have to try putting my lip on the windshield, see how it works. But you can really feel the 40-pound weight loss, which is exactly what I was going for. I have a tote over there full of Himalayan parts now. Got a few more parts to go. I got news that my gas tank shipped. I don't think it'll be here by this weekend. It wasn't the typical outfit in India that gets things here in 3 days. As long as it gets here without being dented, I'll be happy. I did mention that I ordered some Racetech springs, and those came in today. Oh yeah, like those pants. Anyway, so I'll be putting those in this weekend, and that'll help in another couple of weeks. I hope it's warm enough to start hitting off-road. We just keep getting more rain and snow. It's like clockwork. Every Wednesday and Thursday, rain, snow, rain, snow, rain, snow, temperatures in the 30s. And normally it's in the 80s right now. So bizarro weather, summer, winter, what do we have? Global warming. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the ride was great. I love the bike. It is really a cool little bike. Every time you ride it, you just come walking away and you're like, that's cool. If you forget how cool it is, take your Himalayan for a ride and enjoy it, because it really is a cool bike. You know, if you guys enjoyed this video of me rambling on about this, that, and modifications and things that I did, or if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. But give me a thumbs up if possible, and subscribe if you can. And guess I'll see you when we wrap this thing up. I'll do another video once the tank is installed. I also have the air injection delete kit. It's in my toolbox. I'm waiting until I remove the tank to do that, because you have to remove the tank to do that. So no point in taking the tank off twice. I have a rear fender to install that matches the bike. It'll be a white Himalayan. What year was that? 2019? I don't know. It's the white gas tank with the gray tread looking design on the top that I believe spells Himalayan. And then, yeah, I guess it turns into my commuter. I do plan on throwing on my road tires for commuting, and we'll just have the Mitas Dakars and EOS 7 Pluses hanging out until, you know, it's off-road season, which shouldn't be, I hope, not too far away. Anyway, so yeah, if you like it, thumbs up. If you can, subscribe. It helps. And I'll catch you guys on the next ride.